Being a new generation racer and only appearing in Cars 3, we would think that Jackson Storm has a short story behind. But the truth is that the story of this racer is super interesting. Did you know that Jackson Storm was a gamer before being a racer? This is the history and evolution of Jackson Storm. Jackson is a high-end racing car. He can reach a speed of 214 miles per hour, with acceleration from 0 to 60 in just 3.6 seconds. An interesting fact is that some people think that Jackson Storm is the fastest car in all cars, but the reality is that Francesco Bernoulli beats him, with a speed of 220 miles per hour. Jackson Storm was built specially for racing. Its design is very advanced, but its model was built with carbon fiber and metal composite, this to make it lighter and faster than its rivals. A small detail is that the number Storm has is 20, but it is designed in a way that makes it look like it says 2.0, a reference to the next generation. The impressive thing about Storm is that it is sponsored by several companies, including Piston Cup itself, Combustor, Carbon Cyber, and Synergy, apart from its own sponsor, IGNTR, Liquid Adrenaline. But as for its creation, Jackson's story is an interesting one. Pixar knew that for the final Disney Cars movie, they had to make a memorable rival. That's why the design and story team set the goal of using paint, shape, and graphics to create a character that contradicted McQueen in every way possible. For starters, the name contradicted itself. Lightning McQueen was contradicted with Jackson Storm. Then the designs were as follows. McQueen is round and fluid, so Jackson Storm should have been sharp and angled, with an aggressive shape, stealthy and deadly look. They had inspiration from the Lamborghini Aventador and Nissan Grand Tourer, but the realization model of Jackson is a Chevrolet Corvette Z7. The problem is that the Cars team wanted to keep the essence of NASCAR racing, so they added more volume in the front to a Storm, and took this design to the Daytona 500 race in 2015. They asked the veterans what they thought, and they agreed with Jackson's design. So, with this green light, Storm was ready. The only thing missing was its backstory. This story can be found in Jackson Storm's biography, Storm Chasing. Before Cars 3, Storm was a cyber sportsman and made a living playing racing video games, especially Super Corsa 3. His greatest accomplishment was winning big money in a cybersports tournament, organized by Axel P. Biggs, a self-made billionaire dedicated to software development. The billionaire organized the tournament to find a worthwhile player for his real-life racing team. From this same tournament, in which 10 cars participated, only 2 remained, Jackson and Team Treadles. Only Jackson won the tournament in first place. From here, the billionaire car asked a representative named Ray Reverham to go after Jackson to get him on the Piston Cup team. At first, Jackson didn't want to participate, as he had made enough money from his cybersports career. He liked being free and not having to work for anyone, but Mr. Axel P. Biggs threatened Storm that if he didn't become a racer, then he would have to return all the money he made from the tournament, and that he would make sure to stop Jackson from getting involved in the video game business. With no other option, Storm had to accept. But this made him even more cocky. Storm started out being trained at a special racing center with other next-generation racers. Since Jackson didn't want to be there, he became very annoying to all his other teammates. He kept annoying the other members of the training center, taking away their allotted time on the racing simulators, so that he only was using it. Basically, he became the owner of the racing simulator. He said who could and who couldn't be using it. Until one day, he lost to another racer, which caused Storm to go mad, destroying the entire simulator and setting it on fire, which caused the entire building to have to be cleared. Because of all the trouble Jackson was in, millionaire Axel P. Biggs cut Jackson from the team. Upon hearing this, Ray, the manager who went after Jackson, also decided to quit the team, because he knew Jackson had a great potential. Soon, one of the training center's data analysts told the IGNTR company all about Jackson. This is an energy drink company, and impressed with the data the analysts brought them, they decided to give a sponsorship to this new generation car. Being in the past training center and seeing all the potential he had, Jackson accepted, with the only condition that Ray would be his crew chief. In fact, Jackson had known about the Lightning McQueen before, and the same energy drink company warned him about this rival, to which Jackson simply laughed. He even made a commercial for the energy drink, in which Jackson says his slogan,
"My IGNTR liquid adrenaline will make you faster than lighting."
After arduous training, the energy drink company managed to give Jackson an entry into the Piston Cup, making his debut in the Dinoco 400 race at the Copper Canyon racetrack. Just before the end of the race, everyone was passed by Jackson's Storm, surprising the racers themselves and the audience. While standing on the winner's podium, McQueen approaches him in a friendly manner, but Jackson greets him like a cocky man. From there, Jackson enters his transport, causing the rivalry between these two cars to begin. Jackson's new entry and success caused the companies to fire their old generation racers and get new rookies from the next generation.
Hey champ, where'd all your friends go?
Luckily for McQueen and his good relationship with Rusty's, he wasn't fired and had good opportunities to continue racing. But race after race, Storm was beating McQueen, insulting him more and more. Even in the simulator for the Florida 500, Jackson has McQueen as a taunt, proving that he's quite the super cocky competitor. The next day, Storm arrives at the Florida International Raceway, where he has a practice lap. But what's impressive is that he set a new record for the fastest lap of all time, with an average speed of 212 miles per hour. And the next day, he broke this same record for the second time, with a speed of 213 miles per hour. In the last race of the Piston Cup Championship, Jackson thought he had it all figured out, but McQueen pulled out an ace up his sleeve, being Cruz Ramirez. At first, Jackson saw her as a simple rookie racer, but seeing her potential, he began to be afraid, which McQueen could see, encouraging Cruz Ramirez to beat Storm. After the Florida 500 race, we don't know what happened to Jackson Storm, since we can't see him after Cruz won, or even in the end credits. But what we think the most is that he continues to race to try to beat Cruz, but he has not yet succeeded. The last appearance we have of Jackson Storm was in the Miss Fritters Racing School, where Jackson makes a mini cameo. But tell me friends, what other story of the characters of cars would you like to know? See you in the comments!